I'm sorry, I'm focused on this area.
Thank you, Colonel. It was very informative. I guess my question is regarding the various factions that we have in Iraq. I guess my concern, and asking the question to you not as an Army but as your personal gut feeling, what's going to happen 3 years from now? We're leaving Iraq, and I'm going back 50-some years ago. Same thing with Korea. We've got 27 or 30,000 troops in Korea. Are we going to end up the same way with Iraq or Afghanistan?
Thanks for the question, sir. I think it's, we're gone from Iraq. There's a Marine Guard at the embassy, and there's a whole bunch of civilian security to keep the State Department from getting blown up, but we're out of Iraq. And, on a personal level, let me tell you, I agree with that decision because I don't have to go back. But I also agree with that decision because we were the lid on this boiling pot. The Sunni Shia thing, the Arab Kurd thing going on in Kirkuk, we were the lid on that pot. And as long as we were there, everybody was just going to jockey for position. Once the lid got taken off, it's going to boil over a little bit, but they're going to be forced to confront all those issues. I was shocked when I came back in 2010, and it's really the reason I wrote the book. In August 2010, we get on a plane, we're slapping high fives as we're going to the airport, and as we're getting ready to leave, we hear that after combat operations had ended, a soldier from the 325, the brigade that replaced, 225, the brigade that replaced us, had been killed. A lieutenant in the back of his vehicle, ID went off, shrapnel through the head, guy's dead. Combat operations is over, right? So everybody's like, okay, we still got to fight here, And then I came back and I turned on my TV. I'm, enjoying my first beer for a year and relaxing. And I watched the last vehicle come across the border into Kuwait, the same picture that we all saw a couple days ago, and they said the war's over. War's over. Operation Iraqi Freedom is over. Operation New Dawn has started. We're now, combat operations is over. And 2 days later, 2 soldiers from Wolfhounds, the unit that replaced us, had 2 soldiers killed in Kirkuk. This crazy guy from Ansar al-Sunna, a Kurdish soldier, he wasn't a soldier, he was just wearing a soldier's uniform. He gunned him down while they were inside the secure base. So when people say, combat operations is over, and so I guess where I'm going with that is that we're going to leave. We're going to leave Afghanistan. I would be shocked if we're still there after 2014. The President said we're leaving in 2014. And American people are rightfully, I think, tired of these wars. They've gone on forever, and for some of the reasons I talked about, they probably went on longer than they had to. But Iraq is about to do a lot of growing. In Saladin province, I'm just shocked by how you don't hear about Iraq in the news anymore. The first time I heard anything about Iraq on television was the other day when the war was over and they hoisted down the flag, and this time it's really over, I promise. In that time, in addition to this combat operation that's been going on with 50,000 soldiers fighting tooth and nail, at Fort Riley, Hamilton's own 1-5 Field Artillery, just the other day, like a month ago, had a lieutenant killed, shot in Kirkuk. I hear about it on TV because combat operations is over. They've moved on to the next story. Yeah. So just the other day, Saladin province declared themselves an autonomous region. They want to be like Kurdistan. I neglected to say this, but after we left, Brigadier General retired Abdullah, the big man of Tikrit, he got blown up. First he got blown up in the provincial headquarters. I don't know if I probably didn't make the news either, but There was a big raid by al-Qaeda guys on the Tikrit, the Saladin provincial headquarters. They blew their way in with suicide vests, and they only shot 3 people. One of them was Brigadier General retired Abdullah, and then they shot his brother, who figured out what was going on and ran to Sharqat. They hunted him down and they shot him too. And all this is going on while combat operations is over. And Saladin has declared themselves an autonomous region, and the Prime Minister says, I refuse to recognize your constitutional right, which it's their constitutional right to be a separate region. And now they've issued an arrest warrant against the Sunni vice president. So, this is a long way to answer your question, sir, but I think that they're going to have another war. If we have accomplished anything, and I do think we've accomplished something, we have killed al-Qaeda in Iraq. If al-Qaeda in Iraq had been alive when we rolled out the last vehicle through Kuwait, the war that they're going to have would be a jihad. And you can't stop a jihad around a negotiating table, because a jihad only ends when all of the heretics are dead. And 60% of Iraq, 10 million, 15 million people are Shia. They're anathema to al-Qaeda. So if al-Qaeda in Iraq still existed, you would have a jihad. It would be, Planet of the Apes over there. They'd be clubbing each other together, clubbing each other to death with rocks and sticks by the time it was over. New Ba'ath Party, JRTM, bad guys. Bad guys. But they have a political end. They want political power for Sunni Arabs that's separate from the Shia. That's something you can negotiate around a negotiating table. So I know I sound down on, the prognosis, but I think that if we've done anything, we've made that war that's going to happen shorter, and we've made it one that can be ended through politics instead of through sectarian carnage.